want to be a winner, not only have to understand how to win, but to understand how to consistently win.
We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this shit.
That's our brand of football. If you want to be a winner, not only have to understand how to win, but to understand how to consistently win.
We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this shit.
That's our brand of football.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Nick Shine Show. I am your host, Nick. We got a good one here for you today. Yesterday was tremendous. Shout out to all of you who showed up for the program during it, after the fact, hitting the like button. Massive stream here on the channel. Can't do it without all of you. You guys showing up day after day is what makes this awesome. Apologies to Addison. It's still David D. It's still good morning. David, could you say good morning to Addison? It's still 9 a.m. and out west. Can we cater the chat to Addison's time zone, please, ladies and gentlemen? What are we doing here? Folks, we'll be joined by Dom C, but you know we got a pecking order here. Before we go and get into all things New York Jets and draft and NFL, we got to kick it off with the greatest intro song on all of YouTube.
It's got me.
Gentry covered in football. Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show. Dim the lights, but it's still bright as Nick time. Day or night, this is his prime, it's Nick Shine. Proud fan, well defined, so get in line. Toe to toe with any show, he only got 9. The best show on YouTube, bro, is easy. We talk Jets all day, please believe me. Subscribe, you just gotta click a family. We not a click in 3D. You can see a beautiful DP. We see through the fake teams and the tea leaves. So we pray for a coach and a QB and hope that we close to the top in the new league. A toast to the host with the most, Nicky. Who, me? Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show.
Fantastic.
Yes, fantastic indeed. Again, thank you everyone yesterday. Yesterday was a tremendous showing by you in the chat. Love you guys. Appreciate you for it. Keep spreading the word. The channel's growing day by day. We've had a massive month. We're almost 150 subscribers up this month. Can't do it without you. If you're watching and you're new, welcome. Hope you enjoy the experience here. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. We have a raffle going on. It's a Super Bowl Joe Namath raffle. We'll be giving that away Super Bowl morning. I'm not sure the time of the show yet, so stay tuned. We had a couple new people subscribe to the channel yesterday. Gift, super chat. Someone shot me a Venmo. So make sure you're watching Super Bowl morning for that giveaway. I might not be able to get in touch with all of you yet. So thank you. $5 super chats and up, get you on the wheel. Gifted memberships get you on the wheel. If we get 15 gifted memberships in the show, we're going to double them. David D starts us off today, folks. One of our resident Detroit Lions fans. David's got an emoji. We got a couple new emojis too. We have the alternate Jet logo as an emoji, and we have an Armand Membu emoji. So enjoy those if you are a shiner, if you are a member of the channel. But David's gifts went to Roy Romano, Alish F3, Thomas Rossi, Ja Break, and Mark 1 Aviation. A lot of new names popping up with gifts, so that's awesome to see the channel grow. Thank you, David. We appreciate you. If you have access to the emojis, hit that Lions emoji for David D, big contributor to the program in the chat and with the membership. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you from the South, my boy, your boy, the homie, Dom C.
Nikki, I'm not in jail. It's just white walls here, dude.
I've been there. Dude, it feels like you're in a crazy house if you're with the other two.
I literally am.
Make sure you got rubber walls around there, man. You got to be safe with those two.
Asman took the good side of the table where he has a background and there's pictures and shit, and I get the fucking corners.
I heard he brought his own pictures to hang up to make it a little more ambiance there.
He did.
He's prepared, man. He's prepared.
He's got a picture of Beast. He's got a picture of King Lowski.
Is it like the Batman meme? He's laying in bed with the picture of Beast.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's get right into it, man. You're down there. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you carving out a little time to join me here while you're there.
Don't say that, dude. You know how you and I roll.
Yeah, absolutely. But still, I still appreciate you carving a little time out to join us here. What's popping out to you? Who are you seeing that Dom is like, I did not see that on film, but that guy's really showing out here? Who's your biggest surprises so far, Dom?
There's a couple, and I'll try to keep this, kind of Jets centric, because there's some guys that I think who have popped that I don't think are going to be on the on the radar for the Jets just positionally.
That's fair.
The one guy I think that has popped the most that I'm like is right at the top of my go back and watch his film list. There's a couple of them I should say. I mean, Malachi Fields, I think the wide receiver for Notre Dame has been wonderful. Like
really?
I was not super impressed with this film. Like coming into this, I'm looking right now. He has a late 4th, early 5th round grade for me coming into this as my 19th rated receiver. I'm going to go back and I'm going to rewatch and see. I'm not going to change my grade on him necessarily, but based off what he's doing in the Senior Bowl, but I'm going to rewatch and see if I miss something because A, he's caught everything. B, I think that his hands are, Jesus, Jake.
Thank you for the super chat, Jake. But Dom, do you want a donut? I got to read the super chats. Rules are rules.
Jake, I found out Jake loves Entenmann donuts. That's what it
not
is.
Not the powdered ones.
No, the chocolate ones are the best.
The crumb topped powdered ones are the best.
Yeah. So Malachi Fields has done a lot, and what I think I like best about him, Nick, is they're playing him all over the place. Like I kind of typecasted him as that boring ass possession type X receiver. You know what I mean? But they have him playing as like a big slot, kind of like in the Drake London role, and he's awesome. He's awesome at it. So he's probably one of the guys that I'm going to go back and look at with some intent, with some with some real intent. I think the Penn State defensive tackle, Zane Durant, is another one. Now, he's small. He's undersized. He's 6'1", 290 pounds. 6'1" and change, 290 pounds. But when I tell you that he's in the backfield every single rep that he plays, whether it's the one-on-ones that he's, hosting the interior linemen because they're too slow to deal with him, or it's the 7v7 or the 11v11s where he's just disrupting everything. He's probably been one of the 3 best defenders that have been down here. I think, I don't know where his role would be in an Aaron Glenn called scheme, but I think that he could have a play on, if nothing more, on sub packages and third and down and distance packages where you need somebody to just press the pocket and get at the quarterback, because I think he does a phenomenal job. I think he's done a phenomenal job at that. Another guy that I really liked, actually a guy I spoke to who, really loves the game, and his film was good. I know his skill set is very limited, but it's a guy that I think that the Jets absolutely could put into play. It's Max Llewellyn, the edge rusher from Iowa. He's, listen, run defense is not going to be his forte, right? But man, can this guy does he have a get off the line and get disruptive? He's been disruptive his whole career as a pass rusher. So even as a DPR, and I think he's got a body that can hold a little bit more weight. He's 6'5.5", 260 pounds. But you put him wide, in that wide 9 setup, both hands on the ground, sprinter stance like Bryce Huff used to do, and the guy just beats tackles left and right. So those are 3 guys, to start that I think we can talk about. I came out absolutely impressed. There's been other guys, I think I've really liked what I've seen from Garrett Nussmeier. I really like what I've heard from Garrett.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of Jake and Dylan discussing him at the end there as I was getting ready.
Yeah, I think Dylan and I see him a little different. I think he's probably been head and shoulders the best quarterback here. Cole Payton from North Dakota State's a close second, but Garrett Nussmeier looks sharp. And listening to him speak to a lot of different media personnel, he battled a couple really bad injuries. One that he couldn't plant his foot, one that he couldn't rotate because he had what's it called?
Oblique.
Core muscle oblique injury. So he was kind of compensating because he wanted to play, showing that grit. And they actually, after they pulled him in the one game where LSU pulled him and kind of benched him, he actually had to learn how to get his mechanics back right, kind of relearn how to throw the ball. And I think the ball's coming out of his hand with authority. I think he throws a really, really pretty catchable ball. He's been accurate, at all levels of the field, short, middle, and especially deep, which I like. Pocket presence, moving around the pocket very well. To me, I think he's head and shoulders above the rest of the quarterbacks here. And I've watched. I spent a lot more time on the quarterbacks and wide receivers than I have on any and the linebackers than on any other group. And why that's just they've caught my eye. So today I'm going to spend a little bit more time in the trenches.
All right. Well, speaking of that, every year I attach myself to a player.
Uh-huh.
Last year, my guy was Deion Walker, the defensive tackle from Kentucky. I loved him. This year, Dom, I find myself closing in, and the claws are there on Caleb Banks. I absolutely love this player. He had a rep. I shared it in my Discord earlier. He had a couple reps where he ragdolled offensive linemen. What are you seeing from him?
No, he's awesome. He was a little bit slow to get off the line. Now, I'm not talking about during reps. Just he was a little bit. He wasn't the most impressive defensive lineman day one, but day 2 he stood out. And Nick, I love the player. First off, Florida fan. He's a 16th ranked overall player on out of all the guys
16.
I out. 16.
Huh.
He's
Who
number
picks at 16, Dom?
Yeah, true. Well, listen, I think if you want Caleb Banks, I think that's where you're going to have to take him. I don't think he's getting. I think even though I don't have a true first round grade on him, I don't think he's getting out of the first round.
Yeah,
the only thing that works positively in that fashion is that he's a little bit. He's a transfer. He started his career at Louisville, played 2 years at Louisville before finishing up 3 years at Florida. So he's 24 at the time of the draft, so he's a little bit older. And he had a foot injury. He had a Lisfranc injury in summer camp right before the season started. So he missed the entire season. Last year, he played, I think, 2 games at the end of the season. Last year, he was completely dominant. And Caleb Banks came here to show people that he's healthy. And Nick, when I tell you, he has been everything that you could have, fans of Caleb Banks or everything that you could have asked for. I interviewed, and I'll put it up at some point today or tomorrow, Jake Slaughter, who's the center for Florida. And, he said that the 2 best players that he's ever played against in his career were Walter Nolan and Caleb Banks. And he's like, I got so lucky to play against Caleb Banks year in, year out. That guy is dominant. That guy is a player that I think will fit the Aaron Glenn mold of what he wants in a defender because he's big enough at 334 pounds, 6'6", that he can kind of stay at home, read and react, stack and shed, read and react, and play that way. But, when you need him to press forward and press vertically, he can do that as well. I think you can even line him up, and you can play games with him. You can do those stunts and the twists up front, because he's like a gazelle at 6'6", 334 pounds.
So I think that's something that we need, right? I think we've been too basic on the defensive line.
Yeah.
And I think that we need those guys that can move around and you don't know where they're lining up. With the Robert Saleh, it was very generic, right? Occasionally you had the turbo package. That was the most exciting thing we did with changing around the defensive line. But it's been 2 defensive tackles, 2 defensive ends, go rush the passer. It's been very generic. I would like to see a little more creativity and
the Wilkes
element.
defense. It's because the Wilkes defense and with the Glenn's, I'm sure, tutelage, asked the defensive line to play different than they did in what's it called? Than they did with Saleh. Saleh wanted everyone the front four pressing forward, penetrating, causing havoc, disturbing the backfield. Whereas Glenn asked his defensive tackles to kind of stay at home, play with gap integrity, stack and shed, and let the back 7 make the plays.
Okay. Well, I want to build a dominant front 7. I keep saying that. Like, if you're going to get great at something this year with these picks, I think this is a very good defensive draft. I don't see, obviously, the quarterback's not there. We don't have the need for tackles finally after all these years. This is a year where I think you build this front 7 up, right? Your cornerbacks are kind of in place. I've been saying you can get a speedy nickel back in the 4th, 5th round who can chase. I think that's a weakness on our defense, that we don't have a guy who can cover those speedsters on the drags and things like that. That's not Brownlee's forte. That's an element you can add later. But I want to get a dominant front 7. I want Banks. I'm very big. I like Briggs. I think Briggs was a great find and a great fit. But Briggs shouldn't be your best defensive lineman. I want Briggs to be the worst of the 4. So I want to add Bain. I want to add Banks. I want to, if not, then Styles. I want to get this front 7 dominant so that our defense on the back end could possibly get an interception. And as always, I will pause for all the Jets fans in the chat to go Google what an interception is, and I'll wait for you to come back. But we don't get near the quarterback enough. We lost the pressure, ability to create pressure, and then we lost the ability to cover on the back end. So just get great at something. Give me a great front 7, and then you can jump routes because the blitz is going to get home. That guys are going to be able to beat their guys one-on-one. And then next year, when 27, you get the quarterback, you get the wide receiver, you get that interior lineman or center. You just make that offense top-notch in 27. That's where I'm at. I don't want to dribs and drabs, right? Like Aaron Glenn to go to ownership and say, we deserve a 3rd year. Look what we've done. Got to make this defense really good. You don't want to be a 24th ranked defense with a 29th ranked offense. You're probably not making it. But if you can get this defense into the 10 to 15 range, with a lot of impactful rookies, and now say, hey, we're going to put all these efforts into the offensive side of the ball. Muji's plan is now we're going to attack the offense the same way we just attacked the defense. I think you could start to see growth and a team improve. What do you think about that?
I think that's a tall task, if I'm being completely honest, to get this defense that was arguably maybe one of the worst that we've ever seen. You and I, guys our age, have ever watched. I mean, the first year Saleh was brutal, but that was this year was rough. To assume that a couple draft picks will get them into the top half or top 15 is to me, I think that's a tall task. But I don't think with we have right now, I think we have 10 picks, maybe 11 picks this year. We have an extra 2 picks next year on top of, or an extra 3 picks next year on top of our original 8. So you can put pieces in place. It's just a matter of finding or making the right decisions, the right calls on these guys. You know what I mean?
I look at Bain, Banks, and Hill, and move Sherwood with the off ball, and now you're really cooking with gas in the front 7, right?
Listen, those if you can get those 3 guys, I think you're golden. Yeah,
I don't think CJ Allen and Styles make it.
Yeah, Styles gonna be a top 10 player. But if you're taking Bain at 2, Banks at 16, and Anthony Hill Jr. somewhere in the second round, top of the second round. I mean, it's reasonable, but you're going to get you're going to catch the wrath. The Jets are going to catch the wrath of the we need offense kind of. We've had a archaic offense for the past 15 years. Let's get some offensive guys in there.
There's no quarterback to take. I think we agree with that, right? There's no quarterback to take in that range. At least I
think. Listen, I'm much more warming up to the idea or the realization that I think Nussmeier is going to be a top 50 player. Now, I don't know what they think about Simpson. If they think about Simpson, they're going to have to use a late day one on it. They're going to either have to trade back and pluck him or trade up with 33 and pluck him. It's not an avenue I would go. I would much rather have Nussmeier at 44 than I would Simpson at 25.
Yeah. I think these first 3 picks need to be impactful, immediate day one contributors. If you want to roll the dice, 44 is the place to do it. And you just let the board play out. If you got to take one of your 5s and then move up a little bit, okay. But I need these first 3 players to get on the field and be impactful day one players for the Jets. That's where our roster talent is. Offensively, to go back, give a little pushback. I think you can get a wide receiver if you don't go with the quarterback, right? If you get 2 veterans in free agency, say Taylor decides to come back and you go get another veteran and you're just going to wait for 27 for the quarterback, which at this point I'm okay with. You don't really need a ton on offense. You can go get another veteran, right? I think one of the things I was most disappointed about this year was there's a couple things. AZ Thomas not being healthy down the stretch to see what we really had out of him, and not really getting to see Garrett with Mitchell and Mechie all together. I think that's a nice trio. Now you can go find another veteran, maybe for that locker room, a 1-year deal, and then you can go add an elite talent the following year. But I'm looking at the offense where round 4, maybe you take a running back, somebody like Singleton from Penn State. Say we do lose Breece Hall, right? Say we tag him and we trade him. Mm-hmm. Who are some guys in that 4th round running back area that you're looking at? Because I don't want to use a premium pick on a running back. You know my ideology with this. If your offense, I go under the old Denver Bronco ideology. If your offensive line is good and your blocking scheme is right, anyone can go get 1,000 yards. We made a big deal about Breece Hall getting 1,000 yards, and like that shouldn't be the benchmark anymore with 17 games. It's 58 yards a game. It's not very difficult to do. Yeah. But give me some guys that at the running back position in that 4 or 5 round you're looking at, and you're like, that could be a guy that's underrated. That could be a guy who was maybe behind a star. Sometimes there's these second running backs in college, Dom, that get their chance in the NFL. They're like, where the hell was this guy? Well, he sat behind that guy for a couple of years. Who are the guys you're looking at in the middle rounds that we could steal at running back?
Well, there's definitely a couple. I mean, I think the majority of these guys, I don't think that there's many. This could be a year where you have maybe one guy go in the top 50. Maybe 2 guys in the first 2 rounds at the running back position. I think the strength of this class, the real balance of this class, is anywhere between rounds 3 and 5. If you wanted to go earlier, if you had a 3rd round pick, or if he happened to fall to 100 or 104 wherever we pick in round 4, which I really don't think he will. There's a kid out of Nebraska that I absolutely fell in love with his film this year, Emmett Johnson. I think he's 3. I think he's 3 down capable. I think he's does enough in the pass game, and he's okay enough at pass pro where I think he can live in 3rd downs. But man, probably the closest player skill set wise to Breece Hall that I've seen or I evaled, where in the sense that I think he's definitely an outside zone guy where he's going to plant his foot and get vertical, but he can force missed tackles. He can hit or make chunk plays out of nothing. Like the vision's okay, just like I think Breece's vision's okay, but you give him the slightest little crevice, and I think he can kind of make it go. Another guy,
massive season too.
Who's that? Emmett Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
251
especially
carries.
after the quarterback went down, they really leaned on him over there in Nebraska.
Yeah, he had 251 carries, 1,451 yards, 12 touchdowns, an average of 5.8. And he caught the ball, like you were saying with Brees, 46 times for 370 yards and 3 touchdowns. So,
Yeah.
and that's when you have a name, Emmett Johnson, like Barry Martin might be the only other better running back name that you can combine, right? Emmett Johnson is just, when he came out, they looked at him as like, oh, he's going to be a running back. Emmett Johnson. That's a great running back name.
Yeah. There's two more guys there's three more guys. I'll give you another guy that I think is more of a all around or 3-down type workhorse style. Like I know that most running backs aren't true, the whole workhorse 3-down back is a thing of the past. There's very, very few running backs that do it these days. But another guy that I think is in that mold out of Virginia is Jamari Taylor. He's down here. He hasn't, and to be honest with you, if I'm being completely transparent, he hasn't popped as much as some of the other running backs down here have. But again, my analysis is based on what they've done during the season on film, not what they do in shorts, in Mobile, Alabama. But another guy who I think, it's perfect for an outside zone. Can really force missed tackles, has decent enough hands where he can affect the game. I think he's got like 300, and I don't know if he's got as many as Emmett Johnson, but he's close to 300 yards in reception. He can also help you as a returner as well, which I really think is good. Yeah, not a 4.2, 4.3 guy, but he'll be high 4.4s, low 4.5s, and just reliable.
Taylor had 43 catches.
Yeah, there you go. And the two other guys that I think are a little bit different of a profile, who I've, and these two guys have really caught my eye more so down here. It's not that I didn't watch them. I have evals on both of them. I have day 3 evals on both of them, which is fine. I mean, that's where running backs probably, you can get a good running back in round 4 and 5. You can. Is Katron Allen from Penn State.
Yeah.
And Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas, who, Jake and I had a chance to sit down with Mike Washington yesterday. He's a real good dude. Northeast kid. He's from upstate New York. So playing in the cold is not gonna bother him. He's a big dude though. He's 6'2", 228 pounds. But you watched him and you watched Katron Allen, who's also big for his, more so of a power back. He's 5'11", 216. But what's caught my eye about them is both, again, those two have multiple runs this week where they've hit a hole and hit pay dirt, like would have been clear, 60-plus yard touchdowns. That's caught my eye, but even more so in pass protection drills. They run all these one-on-one drills. You know that, Nick. The offensive lineman, defensive lineman go mano a mano. The wide receivers and cornerbacks, they put these running backs up, in between two tackle dummies or garbage cans, and linebackers on either side, and they blow the whistle. One of the linebackers blitzes. It's set up completely for the linebackers to just destroy these running backs. And these guys have shown that their pass protection is not passive. You know what I mean? It's legit. I don't think Katron Allen has let one of these blitzing linebackers back to the quarterback. It's really, it's a thing for me that really caught my eye and has been very, very impressive.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Dom C, who's live down in Mobile with Dylan Timmerman and Jake in the house. They're probably, what are they doing? What are they up to right now?
Dylan, I don't know. I think Dylan, I don't know where Dylan went. Jake's watching a podcast on 2x speed. I can hear it going.
Nice.
Weird.
Hit the like button, folks. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll say it again. It's been a tremendous month. We're over 140 subscribers up in the month of January. We got 2 days left. Let's hit 150. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Super Bowl raffle. Super Bowl morning. Joe Namath raffle item going off. Get in. David D already gifted 5 memberships. If we get 15 memberships gifted during this stream, we will double all the entries. Bino with the super chat says, Nicholas, Dominic, salute. Salute to you, Bino. Thank you for being here, my friend. My apologies for missing that earlier. I hope you're not mad at me. So, Dom.
Yo.
It's nice, right? It's different for you not to have to look at tackle.
Yeah.
So this might be the first time we've ever talked draft where I'm not asking you any tackle questions.
Yeah.
However, we're going to move over a little bit on that offensive line, and I'm going to ask you, if we lose Simpson and we don't retain ABT, which I don't think we should, what guards are you looking at? Like, there's Pregnon, Besantis.
I've been watching. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of the interior guys. Now, the good thing down here, Nick, is most of these guys play all over the line. You know, the tackles, unless they're true tackles, you know, but most of the guys that want to show versatility. So they do line them up all over the place. Like, you know, Jennings Dunker, for one, I'll give you a name. If you see my Twitter, he's the guy with that beautiful flowing red mullet. You know, he is a tackle at Iowa. You know, he's measured out with 34+ inch arms, so he's probably going to be tackle. You know, he'll probably hit the benchmark to play tackle in the NFL for a lot of teams, but he's gone ahead and played all 5 positions because he said it. He's like, why would I not want to show a team that I'm versatile?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they bounce inside and out. Of the guys down here, I really liked Kalen Rutledge from Georgia Tech. He's got, you know, over 2,200 snaps at center and over 2,000 snaps at right guard. Versatile kid, 320 pounds, good base, solid, you know, hips and ass is a plus, real solid. Jake Slaughter, who's a little bit smaller,
Florida, right?
Yeah, from Florida. He's a little bit smaller. If you're running more of a zone blocking scheme, I think he's kind of the guy you can kind of circle or target. And one guy that's not here who I absolutely love, and I always pay him the respect because he was like my number 5 player in the entire offensive line draft class last year when I thought it was coming out, was Logan Jones out of Iowa. The guy can just move, but again, he's going to be
on his profile right now, as you said.
What's that?
I'm literally on his profile right now, as you said his name.
He's going to be a little bit smaller.
Older though too. He'll be 24 and a half at the draft.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily worried about that because he's a day 3 guy. Okay. And the linemen have a tendency to outlast. Like, they're not going to fall off a cliff at 27, 28 like some of the skill position guys do. You know, they can play into the 30s. So having an older offensive lineman, really doesn't scare me away. But God, that guy can move, man. You know, that guy can move in space. I love it. So again, depends what kind of offense we're going to run. We don't have an offense coordinator. You know, if we have a guy that wants to run duo, wants to run gap scheme, power style offense, like if you bring Greg Roman in as your offense coordinator, Jake Slaughter and Logan Jones aren't your type of centers.
Yeah. You know, we hired a defensive coordinator by title only. I think we all think Aaron Glenn's going to call the plays. His name's Duker. Ronald Curry, former quarterback from North Carolina who played with Julius Peppers, was one of the 5 guys interviewing. So since we have Duker on defense, Dom, I need to get a Tar Heel in on offense. So keep an eye on Ronald Curry. I need a little balance there in the UNC Duker world. Yeah. But here's a question for you, Dom.
Yeah.
And super chats, get your question up on air with Dom immediately. Appreciate everyone for being here. Who's a guy that, I know you said you've had certain grades and you've only graded out a certain amount of players as first round guys. Who's a guy that you maybe saw this week that said played himself maybe into round 1? Is there a guy that jumped off the charts that you're like, I don't have this guy in round 1, but now you saw him live in person, you're like, holy shit, this guy might get into round 1?
I've got 14 first round grades. And the closest guys to that after, are Keldrick Falk, who's an edge rusher from Auburn. He's not here. And then the next 2 are Caleb Banks and Colton Hood, who have both dominated down here. So, yeah, I'm going to go back. Caleb Banks is tough because, like I said, he's a tough eval because a lot of it is still projection, because he missed this entire season.
Yeah.
You know, last year he was dominant. This year he missed the majority of the season. So I'm not going to bank or change an eval or a grade based on what they do this week, but it's going to force me to watch some guys again. And he's going to be one. Colton Hood, I think, is awesome. I thought he was awesome this year. He's number 17 on my board, so I think very highly of him. And he's been pretty much as advertised down here. Like he's shutting people down. Doing what he do. They're not hitting, so you can't really see the how he is in space as a tackle or anything like that. So you can only judge what you're seeing by the way he moves and the instincts that he plays with. And he checks all the boxes. Colton Hood, the cornerback from Tennessee. So those are two guys that are the closest. Those are the three guys, I should say. Falk, who's not here, Banks and Hood, who are my next three highest rated players, 15, 16, and 17.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
Could we get Dylan to hang out with Banks and have him give him a gas mask marijuana, and that way he falls to us at 33? Can we do the Tunsil with Banks? Can Dylan provide a service for us to get Banks to fall to 33, and we can really stack this front seven, Dom?
Yeah.
Tell Dylan it.
That's
We
actually pretty smart.
need him in.
That's actually pretty
his services right now.
Yeah.
Double Down asked, are Nussmeier's small hands a concern to you at all? Joined late if this was already asked. I did the measurements come out?
Eight and 3/4. Not ideal for cold weather, but 8 and 3/4 hands, 6'1", 208 pounds, 8 and 3/4 hands. So that 9 threshold is what it is. You're out. Yeah, listen, the cold and the weather is going to be something like that. Like, and if that's a thing for you, that's a thing for you. I get it. It's not. I don't think he's a first round talent in the least. I graded him out as a third round with a third round grade. Quarterbacks always get bumped up the ladder. So you got a Kenny Pickett syndrome right here with Garrett Nussmeier.
Send them to Pittsburgh. I'm fine with that. John says, member for the channel for 17 months. Thank you, John. Great show. You guys are awesome. Looking forward to future draft content collab with Dom. Dom, I will get your link right now, and I will share that in the chat for everybody to go join if they haven't already. What else is on your mind down there? And any players that you wanted to discuss that I didn't pick your brain about already?
You know what? I mean, it's really hard with a Jets lens because we just don't know what kind of schemes the coordinators or anything are going to want or run. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to do it like that. I don't know much about the Duca defense. I'm sure Mr. Assman over here is doing his research on him as we speak. You doing your research on the Duca defense?
Oh, the Duke. I love the Duke. Sorry, I've been thinking about eating more donuts.
Have a donut. All right, give me more donuts. I might as well. I'll partake.
Yes.
Just
so
get Dom's link, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, go over, subscribe to Dom's channel. If you want more breakdowns of the players.
and for the record, I just want to specify like that channel is not Jets specific. So if some of you guys only watch Jet content, that's not the channel for you. I'm just being honest. Save yourself the hassle. It's more of a draft centric channel, more so than a Jet centric channel. But yeah, it's hard to identify who we're going to want and who we're going to need. I'll give you a name. A kid that really caught my eye that I think his skill set could really benefit the Jets no matter what they decide to do on offense. Day 3 kid, I mean, not going to go before that. Sam Roush, remember the name, tight end from Stanford, about 245 pounds, 6'6". He's just more athletic. He's faster. He's quicker than anyone here down at Mobile. Linebacker safeties can't keep up with him. He's a guy I could see kind of a la, Harold Fanning kind of being that, focal point, secondary focal point of an offense. I think he would complement Mason Taylor very well because Mason Taylor could do his damage from 15 yards in as your inline tight end, and you have Roush kind of flexed out and do more of the damage up the seam and much more of the pass catching related tight end role. So
All right.
that's the name. How's that?
All right. Now, I know I got you to 1. I got you for about 15 more minutes. Let's transition a little bit here and get into a little bit of Jet talk while I got you.
Go ahead.
You mentioned it. You don't even have your offensive or defensive staffs in place. Like, what is the Jet representation down there? Is it just Muji and the scout team? Like, there's no coaches down there. We don't have any coaches. 3.5 weeks after the season, and we don't have a coaching staff in place. So who's there for the Jets?
We've seen Robbie Patton, who's the assistant GM. We've had eyes on him. Everybody, the director of college personnel, Dylan knows all their names, but he's down here. There's probably about 5 or 6 scouts. So the Jets are very well represented down here. Aaron Glenn's not here. I have not seen Muji, but I don't think that Aaron Glenn or Muji being here really plays all that important of a part.
Okay. I know Salah stayed home in the past.
Yeah. Salah stayed home in the past. Some people think it's important to be down here. Some people not so much. Got to remember, these guys get all the, I've come to realize that a lot of people aren't all that interested in being down here because they have access to the film. And if you see the practice film, you can see everything you need.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They do have the ability to sit down and interview and speak with these players. Do they do that virtually too down there? Like, do they have, like, what's the interview process? Oh, you did take the.
All
right, I'll talk.
They have a whole room set up. Like this huge kind of banquet area set up, and it looks like a maze, right? And it's all sectioned off by, whatever, drapes or whatnot. And these guys go through the round robins, and they go through and they talk to all the coaches and all the GMs and all the scouts, and they meet with every single one of the teams. So they are getting a lot of action down there, these kids.
All right. What's your thoughts with the Jets, Tom? Like making these moves this late?
I don't know, man. It just smells like a disaster, Nick. It's been a disaster. It smells like it's getting worse. I don't know. And the reality is that I don't know what to believe anymore, right? I don't know what to believe. I don't believe our beat or the media, because I think that there's, they're, kind of driven to, put out certain things and get certain scoops and, very, very non-direct, right? All of a sudden, Connor Hughes has been he's been, kumbaya for a while, and all of a sudden now he's very against Aaron Glenn. Like, there's an ulterior motive there for sure. I don't know what it is, but there's some sort of ulterior motive. Diana Rossini and Zach Rosenblatt, I'm sure are gonna drop some sort of thing. I don't know how much effect Aaron Glenn has in changing his mind. Like, he's shown us as Jets fans that he will change course on what he says from 1 minute to the next. He showed us that this year. It was going from we want to win now to, big ships take slow turns or whatever the hell it was. So I don't know if it's Aaron Glenn's, the main culprit or the main problem. I don't know if Woody's meddling. I don't know if, what I do know is that the old cliche LOL Jets holds firm right now. And if you're going to move on from this regime next year, you might as well just do it now. You might as well. I mean, and they're not, because they're just hiring defense coordinators now and so on and so forth. I get that. But before you hired this defensive coordinator who you didn't meet in person, you probably Woody should have thought about just scrapping the whole thing and starting fresh.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up Connor Hughes, because I had an interesting back and forth with him on Twitter the other day. And Connor tweeted, "I've seen the fan base's reaction to today's news and continued news. It's not much different from the many I've touched base with around the league. A lot of people wondering what the heck is going on at One Jets Drive, questioning direction, leadership, competence. I don't know if I can ever recall the Jets being dragged to this degree. I'll say this. If anyone is built to navigate these waters, it's Aaron Glenn. He does not care what other people think or say. He's going to do him, believing it's the best thing for the team. Almost all coaches I've covered care about the narrative to some point. Glenn, I truly believe, does not. I commented, can be a strength for sure, but shutting everyone else off can also be a major downfall. Breaking news, he's falling with no end in sight. And this is where Connor really opened up. And great that he did this on my comment. He says, well, it also goes to the relationship with the media. We've discussed this at great length on JFD. It's not about sourcing or giving breaks. The best part of having a relationship with people you cover is being able to ask why. Again, not about breaks. Just explain to me why you're doing what you're doing. I may not agree the Jets drafting Will McDonald over JSN, but if I understand the method, I can articulate that in my coverage. Glenn has made it clear that the only relationship he wants with media is adversarial. So now, when the why would be crucial and help dampen public outcry, all you have is people reacting with their opinion. So the narrative becomes this team is void of any plan and rudderless. So Connor, kind of saying flat out that Glenn's approach is really hurting him in more ways than one. But what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's. I believe that it's rudderless. I don't believe that there's an approach. I really don't. And I also believe that. Yeah,
throwing darts
exactly. Closing your eyes and throwing darts.
But I also this will work. This hire will work. No, that one.
I also believe that there might be a little bit of Connor being butthurt in that because he wants a source inside the building where he had
people from Houston breaking stories. You got people from Houston breaking stories on the Jets. That's gotta rub these guys the wrong way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, when Robert Saleh was here, he had a direct line to him. He talked to those guys. He talked to them. So I think there's a little bit of that in there. But yeah, it's a rudderless ship. And maybe it's not all Glenn's fault. Maybe it's Woody who's starting to meddle again. But man, being kind of connected to the Jets down here has been awful because everyone says, "Oh man, I'm sorry. Oh my God, what's going on?" Like that vibe, the LOL Jets is real. It is absolutely real.
Yeah, it's you hope, right? That's all we have is hope. Something I said yesterday with Matt that kind of terrifies me is that if Muji does so great with these picks, Glenn gets more time. You know what I mean? Like that's like almost like a bad scenario for us. Like I'm being facetious with it, but that this pick at 2, 16, 33, 44, they all become all world players, make this defense a top 10 in year one. And now Glenn is like, all right, we're good. And it's like, oh, are we? Like, I don't want the coaching staff to get carried by the players. I want it to be equal. I want the coaching staff to be as good as this potential talent we could be bringing in. Right. And I think there's a really good with the Colts free falling. Thank you to Charles Gorman's allegiance. And with the Jets tanking out at the end to get to number 2, I think you can really add aggressive players to this front. And I think that's got to be the goal because I don't now if somebody falls, a wide receiver falls to 16. All right. I get it. I wouldn't be too excited about it for year one. But I would be excited about what a quarterback in 27 could be walking into, right? Like a complete wide receiver room. So I get it long term. But right now, I got to see a team on the field that doesn't get pushed around, doesn't get bullied, doesn't give up 14-play drives, game after game, week after week, drive after drive. I want to be able to be the aggressor on defense. I've coached defense. I want to bring the pressure. I want to be aggressive. I want to send more than you can block in certain times. I want to get turnovers. I want to get sack fumbles. I want to just be dominant up front. Because if you're dominant up front, it makes everyone's job easier back behind you. And then when you can't get to the quarterback, you can't cover in the NFL for 4 seconds. Not the Jets, but other quarterbacks who hold the ball for 3.5 seconds will make a completion with that amount of time.
Yep. It's crazy, man.
It is. It is, Rob. We're joined with Dom C. I pinned his link in the comment section, so please go over there if you are interested in the draft prospects. If you want to see Dom's breakdowns, if you want to learn more about a player, I've said this for going on 4 years now. Dom's my guy. I got a question about a player. Most of the time, before I even bring it to you guys, I shoot Dom a message. Dom, this guy is jumping out to me. What do I think? And you'll tell me you're an idiot or good call. I like this guy. And I got to give you credit. You mentioned Mendoza to me Labor Day weekend, and I watched Mendoza, and I fell in love. And I felt that like my heart is now getting ready to break down because how much I fell in love with Mendoza. You know, we said it. Jake said it. Many people said it. This is the worst Jet season we've watched, and it wasn't even good enough to get the quarterback, Dom. What? How bad does it have to get for us to get the number one?
It's crazy, man. I mean, think of it the last time this happened, right? The last time it was Trevor Lawrence. When we were god awful and
special teams again cost us the number one pick.
We're not bad enough to get the number one overall. Unfreaking believable. Unfreaking believable.
Life of a Jet fan, Dom.
That's right.
Life.
That's okay.
When's the game?
Saturday. I'll be home though. I'm not staying for the game. I'm flying out Friday afternoon, so I land in Newark at like 9.
Nice. Yeah. All right, sir. Well, I appreciate your time. You're the man.
Oh,
anything in close? Oh, wait! I got one more question.
Hang on. Oh,
what's up, my brother?
Hey, Squidward.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, Nick. I've been listening the entire time. I've heard every word you've said.
Thank God you didn't talk about him. Bad, Nick.
I never talk about him. That's one of the homeboys. Why would I talk about him?
Nick Shine, everyone. Like and subscribe, or else.
Yeah, or else Jake's gonna throw chocolate-covered donuts at you.
We're running out of them. We got like 2 left.
Jake must have eaten about 11 donuts so far in a week.
Now, normally you've been there, and Jeremy Jets Chaos has been with you, so there's been food discussed 24/7. Has Jake taken over the Jeremy role as the foodie in the house?
He's sleeping in the same Spider-Man covered bed that Jeremy slept in too.
If I return next year, I demand the Spider-Man.
You and Jeremy like bunk buddies.
We're gonna have to put him in the forbidden room.
So yeah, it's that's that. He's taking over Jeremy's food.
Oh, so Jake is just annoying you the whole time.
I went to the supermarket when I got down here, and I loaded this house in food, and I'm gonna end up leaving most of it, throwing it out.
It always happens. You
Always
overbuy, right? But awesome. Well, yeah. I had a message while you were there.
Okay.
And as soon as you're done, Dylan's going to hop in with me for a little bit. But Dom, I thank you for your time. Safe travels. And as always, thank you for your contributions to the program here. And enjoy the chocolate donuts, my friend.
Love you, brother. I'll talk to you when I get home.
Too, man. Be good. Awesome. Love that those guys get to do that. All right, folks. Hit the like button. As you just heard, we'll be joined momentarily by Dylan Terraman. He messaged me and asked if he could pop in. I was like, hell yeah. I go, Dom's off at 1. Pop in and join. So Dylan will be here in a moment. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Super chats, gifted memberships, get you on the wheel for Super Bowl Sunday, the Joe Namath raffle, ladies and gentlemen. We will be giving a Joe Namath autographed item away on Super Bowl morning. And we will all, even people who always go against the grain, like Wild Wave or Jets Johnny or Three Siblings, we are all coming together to root for Sam Darnold. Please don't tell me we have any Jets fans that are pulling for the Patriots. There's one of the few times in life where we have the opportunity to unite, to be in unison. We disagree on draft picks. We disagree on winning or losing games. We disagree on free agents. We disagree on keep the coach or not. Here's an opportunity for us to all come together and root for Sammy D. I hope there's none of you rooting for the Patriots. There we go. That's what I need, Jets Johnny. That's the energy we need. I'm all about uniting people, bringing them together. Sammy D, 31-13 blowout Super Bowl MVP. Now, here's before I bring Dylan in, there was just something that Antoine Staley retweeted. Joe Brady at his first press conference on the question of what he wants to change. Sometimes it's just fine tuning some things. Yeah, getting your quarterback to play better in January, getting him not to be a turnover machine, getting him to not have 5-6 touchdown games in October and get labeled as a great player and choke when it matters. Don't change that. I love that. Sam Darnold, number 1 quarterback in the 2018 class, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan Terman, dispute my claim right now. How you doing, buddy?
I have no dispute. How are you, Nick?
Who cares about regular season statistics? Who cares about regular season awards? The great ones win when it matters. Sam Darnold
Yes,
about to
100%.
get
And
ringed up.
Josh Allen
baby.
can't win. Yeah,
Can't
Josh
win.
Allen can't win when the game is at the highest moment. So
Can't win. I get told I hate Josh Allen. No, I appreciate quarterbacks who can win when it matters. Curly Norman with a great question. And I've never said those words. That's how crazy this offseason is. What's winning?
it is evading us with the talent of like Lamar Jackson in the pocket.
Olay!
Yeah.
We want to win. Oh, Johnny's even going better. I said 31-13, 33-0. I don't like that number.
As a lifelong Seahawks fan, I condone that message.
I lost a championship game, 33-0. It's one of the few losses that we had, and it was 28 degrees with 20-mile-an-hour wind and a night game under the lights, and the kids were just frozen and they didn't perform, and we were undefeated going into that game, and we just got. I hate that score, Johnny. Can we change it, please? Yeah, that score
34 nothing.
Yeah, 43-0. Let's make it better.
Yeah.
So, how you doing, man? How is it down there?
I'm doing well. You could probably hear it in my voice. I've been slowly losing my voice throughout the week between the alcohol and the conversing at night. So it's been a blast. I don't love the schedule. Coming here 4 years prior, I liked the schedule where we got done with practice at 2 p.m. We were able to come home, make our content when it was still like really topical, and then go enjoy the nightlife by like 6-7 o'clock at night. Instead, we get done at 6, you get back, you do your content. You're not really going out to dinner until like, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then you got to stay out later. But I guess the bright side is you could wake up a little bit earlier, but I like my day ending earlier rather than later. So haven't been a fan of the schedule, but hey, making the most of it. And year 5, man, it's crazy how fast time flies.
It really is. Shout out to Guaranteed Jet. Says, keep up the great work, Nick. Jets. Thank you. You are in the Super Bowl raffle for the Joe Namath item on Super Bowl Sunday. Make sure to be here. It's a morning show that day. I'm not sure the time specifics yet, but thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, man. And keep coming back, bro. Johnny has altered it to 33-2. Okay, as long as it's not Sam Darnold getting hit and fumbling and it's like a bad snap on a punt. Dylan, when was the last time, like, I'm older than you. I come from an era where there used to be a thing called a bad snap on special teams. When was the last time you saw a bad snap, like sail over the punter's head or short hop the holder? You don't really see it. Even in bad weather, the snaps, the holds, everything's perfect nowadays.
Yeah, long snappers are getting really good at their job, really elite. The Jets are lucky to have, I guess, an elite long snapper in Thomas Hennessy. I would say I think the Rams were the only team in season to fire their special teams coordinator, because I know they had some pretty rough moments on special teams, but I don't know if that was like snap related, but that would probably be the closest instance. So yeah, they're buttoning it all up on special teams across the league. Obviously, the Jets have really good special teams unit right now, but thanks, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny, we got to take our victory lap whenever we get them, bro. we got to take the victory lap.
That's my deep dive scouting analytics elite long snapper. That's what we get.
Hey, listen, we got the top special teams in the league. We got to make sure we stay there. Now, I'm
Yeah.
going to fire off a question to you that I asked Dom earlier. And who were some of the guys that you maybe did some work on, you did some film study, and now you see them live and in person, and you're like, holy shit, like I did not see that on film, or that didn't translate to the film that I saw, whatever. Who guys that are just jumping out at you live and in person, and you're like, this guy's got a lot more to it than I originally thought?
Yeah, I think the one name I would say immediately is defensive end TJ Parker from Clemson. Being the South
Yeah.
Carolina guy, I watch a lot of Clemson and a lot of South Carolina Gamecocks like live in real time, and then I go back and watch their film a lot. But TJ Parker had a really good 2024 season, and then 2025 was a pretty big dip
Yeah.
for him. And I mean, Peter Woods had better film
He
in
was
25
projected as
than,
like a top 10 pick going into the season. Like a lot of the he was the Nussmeyer of defenses. Like he's the guy
yes,
that was
yes.
a number, like a top pick, the top edge, and then disappeared by October.
Yeah, that's a good way to frame it, as the defensive Garrett Nussmeyer. Yeah, they were both like top 5 in the way too early mock drafts. Now he's probably like hovering around like 25 to 45. And I think this week he's kind of climbing back up to like the higher end of that, like in like the late first round, maybe early second round. So, hey, if TJ Parker's there at 33 and we go offense in the first round, I'm totally down for a TJ Parker at 33. I guess the benefit right now is we might know a little bit more of what the defense wants to do schematically now that they have AG calling plays with Brian Duker in the building. But offensively, we don't really know what they're targeting or like what exactly they're going to look like, whether it's Frank Reich or hopefully not Darrell Bevel or Greg Roman. But like if the offense is going to be different stylistically, like now we have opened the floor to more prospects instead of like, okay, we want this specifically, we want this specifically. So I'm kind of interested, but I would say TJ Parker is definitely one of the guys I watch on film. I didn't watch a ton of guys on film entering this process, which is different from years past. I'm going in with like less deep dive knowledge and more surface level knowledge on these guys. But watching Texas Tech, because I did the David Bailey study, I watched Jacob Rodriguez in the process. I thought he was like even just as impressive, if not more impressive in person. And I feel like you always have a little bit more bias when you see a guy in person and like you feel like you could stand on business with your takes with them. But Jacob Rodriguez and really all the Texas Tech defensive guys, so Lee Hunter, the defensive tackle, Romello Height is twitched up on the edge. So I could just say all the Texas Tech guys in general, but Jacob Rodriguez for sure. Now I'll give you an offense one just because I only gave 2 defense. I would say Jacoby Lane is one of the main guys on film that I studied and said, wow, okay, I really like what he is doing in practice. Now, I think he kind of struggles to beat press coverage a little bit, but when he has off coverage and he's able to, win with his long strides down the field, he was really impressive. He had 2 really nice deep ball catches yesterday, specifically in practice. And the guy who would be throwing those passes to him, potentially Garrett Nussmeyer, I think the late 2024, early 2025 tape is a complete different story than late 2025 tape of Garrett Nussmeyer. So when I did my midseason film study of a lot of these quarterbacks, Garrett was one of them. And I was like, is he like one of the nation's best passers based on the early 2025, late 24 tape? But now it's kind of weaned off a little bit and not as much love for Garrett, but I think he's been impressive as well.
Nice. Now, from what I understand on Lane, he's a great vertical threat. Have you seen him being able to get in and out of cuts and breaks quick, or does he still need to work on that?
That I have not seen enough of. And so my strategy with practice is day one, you watch the quarterbacks. So therefore you're watching wide receiver, cornerback one-on-ones, because you want to see that's probably the first time a lot of these guys are taking snaps under center. So I want to make sure that they can handle that NFL style of going under center, cadence and everything like that. So day one is usually really sloppy. So you watch the quarterbacks, you see what you can. I didn't think he did enough of that in day one. And then yesterday I flipped over and I watched a ton of O-line, D-line, trench work play. And now today I'll go back for the final day of quarterbacking and say, hey, what did we learn across the process of 3 days? So if Jacoby Lane doesn't show it today, then I can probably, mark it off pretty, confidently on the scouting report that I feel like he needs to win more at the short and intermediate levels. But yeah, I would say right now it has not really come up on the tape from practice with Jacoby Lane.
Okay. I'm a guy in the trenches. So defensive tackles. Anybody jumping out at you there? You know that I love Banks. Banks is my Deion Walker from this year.
Mhm.
I love that player last year. Who who is jumping out at you as a guy who's just physically overpowering and overwhelming and a little quicker than you would originally envision?
The first guy, and I just made a tweet about this. This is perfect. 3 defensive tackles I'll give you in the order that I think popped the most to me. Zane Durant, which I'm pretty sure I overheard you and Dom talking about, the Penn
Yep.
State defensive
Yep.
tackle. So Zane Durant was cool. He was a great interview as well. I got to sneak in a question about Drew Aller, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my guy, Big Snipe." I guess that's like his nickname, Big Snipe. I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's accurate based on what I saw on film, but Zane Durant was a really cool interview, and he's been living in the backfield in a lot of these practices. Grayson Holton, defensive tackle from Oklahoma, and maybe I've been hanging out with Will Parkinson and his brother too much, who's on staff at Oklahoma. So like I'm kind of hyping up the Oklahoma guys, but dude, Grayson
You
Holton,
name dropping. You're becoming a pro here right before our
oh
eyes.
yeah, dude, tenacity, bro. Grayson Holton has it in spades. He came off the fields in a team period situation where they just rotated defensive linemen, and he had just made a really good run stuff. And he's coming off the field, slapping himself in the helmet, firing himself up, and I'm like, yeah, we need that dog mentality in New York. So I would
I've been
totally love it
screaming
if
for
Grayson
it.
Holton. Yes,
I've
I
been
would love
screaming. We
Grayson
need a
Holton.
guy who plays with passion. I want a guy that the social media team is afraid to talk to. Like I want a
Yes,
guy
yeah,
who's
somebody
a
that just
lunatic.
cares about football. Just go.
Yeah, I don't.
Mhm.
I'm tired of the nice guys and I want a guy that when you like. I want a guy who's a great player, but has the Michael Clemens mentality.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want the
Mhm.
guy that like, no, I don't want to do this shit. Like, but fires up his teammates, holds everybody accountable, gets everybody fired up. You know, Jermaine does that to an extent. But like I want a guy who's gonna hit a guy and be like, yo, you ain't doing your job. Like call players out. Be a leader.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get that from a defensive tackle in the mid rounds who's just a fiery, nasty SOB.
Yeah,
I like that.
100%. We
I like that.
definitely lack that. We're, to use a beast term, we are very lackative in that department. So the third defensive tackle name that I'll give you, and he was the first person that stood out to me. One, because he's a defensive lineman that wears number 10. 10 is my favorite number, so naturally I'm attracted to the number. But a defensive tackle wearing number 10, it makes you look twice because it's like, why is that gigantic person wearing number 10? And it's Lee Hunter, the defensive tackle from Texas Tech. I keep a list, so we get the practice schedule or rosters, and it's like on a sheet, and
Yeah.
like all along here, you'll see like A and L. That's my thing, ass and legs. Mass kicks ass, Nick Shine. We know this, and Lee Hunter is the guy for mass. Like he's going to be that big guy in the middle who's not going to get moved. 4 hands from the offensive lineman probably have to be on him at a time, but Lee Hunter would be the third defensive tackle name that's popped off. And the defensive line this year, to me, maybe I'm just watching it more closely, but edges too, man. They're really impressing me so far.
Nice. Well, you're drawn to tens, which is why you walked away from the mom with the 3-year-old, right? And then you like ass
Yes,
and
and that's
legs.
why I said yes
I
to your
have to
show.
ask this. Your Dom's married, so I can't ask him the question, but I'm going to ask you, how's the nightlife? How's the scenery down there?
Yeah, I
Ball
mean,
dude?
compared to years past, it's definitely less. The weather has definitely stopped a lot of people from getting here. Both media, like big media and small media, I think, has been affected by it. You still see a lot of the normal faces, I'll call them, from the Jets staff. I see, Jay Mandolesi, Dom Green was a scout or is a scout. I saw him last night at the bar. Andy Davis, I saw at Radio Row. He said hello to me. I also said hi to Phil Savage and had a really good talk with him, even though he's no longer with the team. He's with the Rams. And the nightlife in general, it was slower because it was colder out. But last night in the bar, I mean, it was pretty lively. And like finally, there was like a group of people that were like my age, 30-year-old. Like a lot of times, like the older media heads, they're like anywhere from like 40 to 60. And that's not a bad thing necessarily. But like when you're around more people your age, it feels like a better environment. So I definitely enjoy the nightlife a ton. And as you can hear in my voice, I keep losing it all week, but it's fun. I enjoy it. It's like, it's still got to be a vacation, at the end of the day. And if you can network and gain contacts at the same time while enjoying yourself, maybe having a few too many rum and cokes, then we're all good.
There you go. I support most of that message.
Yeah.
But enjoy
Yeah,
yourself,
most of
man.
it.
You deserve it. You guys do great work down there. You put a lot of time in, and you deserve to let loose at the end of the day.
I
I don't know if you
appreciate it.
heard me
I will
before with
say I will
Dom.
say the food. Sorry, hold on. I will say about the food.
Mhm.
Last night we went to this spot, me, Jake, and Will, and I got the Wagyu beef cheeks appetizer. Whoo,
Wait,
man!
what is
I'll
that
send
again?
you pictures, man.
You glitched out a little bit. What's it called?
It was Wagyu beef cheeks. It was the appetizer, and I fell in love. It was so good. I'll send you pictures. And then we had hanger steaks, and Will got the duck, and oh my god, everything was so good. So the food to me is equally as good as the networking.
Nice. How long are you there for? When do you leave?
I was supposed to leave after practice tonight, but I forgot about the time zone change because I thought I was supposed to have work tomorrow at my normal job, and I was going to get home at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning if the practice schedule ended last practice at 3 p.m. like it used to be. I have an 8 hour drive ahead of me, so I'd get back at like 1:30 with a couple stops. But since practice doesn't end until 6 p.m. now, and then I'm traveling an hour into the next time zone on the East Coast, I won't get home till 3:30. So my plan is hopefully to stay one more night and leave first thing in the morning. But we're expecting 5 more inches of snow in South Carolina. So if I don't get back in time, there's a chance I get stuck like in Georgia somewhere because South Carolina won't be able to handle the snow.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta. We've been keeping an eye on that up here. There's a thing called the bomb cyclone that's going to cross and hit. It's going to cross like southern Florida, and then it could turn into what's called the bomb cyclone. And if it pushes inward, once it hits the Atlantic, it could bring that storm right up to us and create a northeaster with the way it's going to rotate. So it's
Oh, nor'easters, man.
yeah, fun times here. Right now, we're not expecting it to. A few flurries or snow on Sunday, but it could turn ugly really quick up here. But safe
We
travels.
got we got 2 inches and then thank you. We got 2 inches of snow and then a half inch of ice before I left in that weird snowstorm that came across like Texas and stuff.
Yeah.
With only 2 inches and then a half inch of ice, they didn't know what to do. They didn't plow the roads like around my house. It would take me about 5 or 6 minutes from my house to 85, which is the main highway that just takes you all down the strip of the East Coast. And
Yeah.
it took me 20 minutes. So I was like, wow, my like barrier for like if I was going to even make it down here or not was dependent on 85 being clear. So by the time I got to 85, it was a bit of a struggle, but I got to 85 and it was wide open. And then you get the southern natives who are scared to come out when it's anything under 50 degrees, and the highway was wide open. So I actually made really good time getting down here. It's usually about 7.5, 8 hours, and I made it in like just under 7.5 with some stops.
Yeah. When I went to Chapel Hill in 2018, 85 was great. 85 was doing 100 miles an hour the whole way, like, and you weren't even pulling away from people. 85 is my favorite road that I've ever driven. There's trees on each side, like you're tucked in tight. There's no place for cops to hide, and it's just 100 miles an hour the whole way, man. I made terrific time on that road. Boomtown,
My brother
checking in
is
from Canada,
I'm sorry.
calling us pansies.
Yeah, well, definitely the more south you go, they're definitely more scared. They don't have salt. They don't own rock salt. They don't own plows. Like they don't know
They
how
don't have
to,
the infrastructure to clear
Yeah.
it and make it work. They don't put those investments in because it's not the norm.
What they do is they just load up on like power trucks, like utility trucks for power lines that get downed because they anticipate a lot of lines going down because it takes only like half inch, 3/4 inch of ice, covering that telephone pole to take it down. And I've seen it happen not because of snow in the South, because again, they don't have the infrastructure, but yeah, they were more worried about the cleanup of the power lines and trees and stuff like that, as opposed to the roads themselves.
Yeah. It's been a fun winter. It's been a fun winter. And I gotta say, I gotta tell this story real quick. A couple months ago, I think it was early December, maybe late November, there was a meteorologist that from Baltimore said there's been 5 years since the year 2000 where a tropical storm or hurricane has not hit the Baltimore Harbor. And all 5 of those years, it's been 35 inches or more of snow in Baltimore. So one didn't hit this year. So now that's why we're getting all of these storms up here. That's why we're getting all these snowstorms. And we're on pace to have a couple more. So
That's
It's
crazy.
wild that the way they can study the past to predict the future. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a dork with
Almost like
geography
history
and
can repeat itself.
exactly. Now, something I didn't ask Dom about, I'm going to ask you. I focused on the front seven with the defense. How about
Mhm.
safety? Anyone on the back end that and you have you like the A and the L. So I'm going to ask you, give us your thoughts on the back end and any players back there that you think fit whatever an Aaron Glenn defense may be, because we still don't know. We're just hoping and guessing and praying.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely. And
I
I'll
love
give a
this
shout
kid,
out.
Chris. I love this kid.
I was gonna say I'll give a shout out to him. He was supposed to be here. I think he pulled out last minute. He's not here, but he is a very good talent, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I watched one cut up clip of him separating man from ball over the middle of the field on like a glance route, and I was like, okay, I'm sold. I'll be excited to see him in Mobile, but he didn't come down. So I'll give you 3 safety names. If you want like a size and length type of guy, I thought VJ Payne from Kansas State was of the size of a larger safety. Now going on the complete opposite end, one of my guys specifically, Kamari Ramsey, the safety from USC. I think he's probably slotted into like a 3rd round grade, which the Jets currently don't have one. But I would love if he's there at 103, I would take Kamari Ramsey, but he's definitely a little bit more undersized. And then when you're watching the like warm-up drills and stuff, you're really getting a body type like key on these guys. And right after Kamari Ramsey in the warm-up line was Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina, who Dom and I got to interview on the field. And he even said they had him playing a little bit of the nickel. So if he's a nickel safety hybrid, my brain immediately was like, okay, Brian Branch, like he made it work in Detroit under Aaron Glenn and obviously Brian Duker. So like maybe that's a role. So I would say VJ Payne for the big size, Kamari Ramsey for the small size, but really good tape. And then the last one there, Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina, probably your all-inclusive, versatile guy. But yeah, I would say those 3 guys for sure.
All right. Big fella check in says, have you seen Bain?
No, Bain bailed out. So did Bailey. A lot of the guys that played in the national championship didn't come. I think the only Miami guys that I've seen are Brockermeyer, the center, Markel Bell, the tackle. Even Mesidor backed out from Miami. So the edge guys aren't here, unfortunately.
All right. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Super Bowl Sunday, Joe Namath, raffle item going on. $5 super chats and up. Gifted memberships get you on the wheel. We have 5 gifted memberships from David D earlier in the show. If we get 10 more, we will double all raffle entries today. Yeah, it is. I got your message. I do have to get ready myself for work. I'm going to open it up to the chat to the callers. Dylan, I thank you for your time.
Of course.
Safe travels, my friend. And,
Yep.
and
Can I answer Jquest's question? Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll answer Jquest's question. Then I'll tell you a funny story about Jake. Pavia. So his measurables are mine. 5'9 3/4, 198 pounds. Like he's DT, like proportionately, and like it's actually kind of funny. So if you have my measurables, you're probably not an NFL quarterback. Let's be honest. He's looked okay. Like he's really like you see him trying to like throw to spots, seeing over the offensive line. He's had a couple throws, but like he's really putting juice. Like he's trying to put everything behind every pass. I feel like he's been throwing. Dom and I tried to get him at the media day, and he just put his headphones in and was like, "Oh, I got somewhere to be. I gotta go," and just walked away. I'm like, dude, this is the time where you're supposed to be in this room taking interviews and meeting with people. So I thought that was a bad look for Pavia. I don't want to say he's undraftable, but if he did not get his name called on draft weekend, would not be surprised at all. And then a funny story about Jake. We're at the Haberdasher, and the NFL Network guys walk in, and Jake stops Ian on the way back from grabbing a beer. He's like, "Hey, Ian," and he wants to talk to him about the Jets. And me and Will are sitting there just dying laughing as Jake and Ian are exchanging Ian's like, oh, would they play hard for AG and this and that? I like the guy, blah, blah, blah. And Jake's like giving him all the stats and everything like that. Ian's got a beer in his hand, and I look at him. I was like, hey, Ian, can we get you another beer? Because like we could tell he was going through it with Jake. And at one point, he's just like, yeah, I don't really care about all that stuff. It was hilarious. But
Oh,
yeah,
great.
no, Jake's
That's
been
cool though,
cool
that
down here.
like
It's
there's
been
a
fun.
place that everybody comes to at the end of the day, and like kind of you could just bullshit with people who are, on the
Yeah.
NFL Network in this community. So that's great, man.
Yeah,
I'm so
that's
happy for you
that's the
guys.
main steakhouse. I met Matt Miller and Jeremy Fowler and Matt Bowen from ESPN last year there, and I've met Matt Miller before. Like he knows me. We follow each other on social, so it is cool. Like when they all walk in and it's like Pelissero, Garofalo, Rapshi,
Yeah.
all those guys. It's like, whoa, okay, cool. Like we could be in the same vicinity and everything's cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man. I'm happy for you. I'm glad it's a great experience. But
Yeah, I
get
love
home
it. I
safe, man.
recommend anybody
Yeah.
who can get media credentials, man, try to come down here because it's the best thing ever. I love it so much.
Nice. Nice. Well, good luck with the 10s and the A and the L's. And look forward to hearing more from you when you get back, man. We got to connect.
I'm
when
gonna
you're
have to send absolutely. I'm gonna have to send you the direct list of ass and legs candidates because there's plenty.
home. Nice. I've been checking out the A&Ls myself. Sydney Sweeney has the new lingerie line that has been all over my Instagram algorithm. So to the IG algorithm, thank you. If you don't
Thank you.
follow
Yeah,
Sydney
thank
Sweeney
you.
already, go. She launched a new lingerie thing, and it's worth it. If this
It
chat
probably
goes down
sold
the
out
steroids,
5 minutes before they dropped the link.
it's tremendous.
And Gorman bought 70% of the inventory.
Tremendous. I went to go see this movie Housemaids with my lady, and I'm the only guy in the theater. And then Sydney Sweeney says to the guy, "Take off my dress." And I went, "What?" Like in the middle of the theater, I go, "What?" And then she gets naked in the movie. I was like, "Best movie you ever picked. Awesome." Like I'm yelling in the middle of the theater with how excited I got when they came out. I didn't know they'd be out in the movie. It was tremendous. So if you're gentlemen,
How
if your
could you
lady
not?
wants to
How
see
could
the
you not?
movie Housemaids, see it. Good work. Very good
Yep.
work, Sydney. Tremendous job on all of your assets. The A and the L. I agree. 10. I'm like you, though. I'm attracted to the 10 with the A and the L.
Yeah, Mass kicks ass, both on football players and in our women.
That's it. Well, buddy, be great, man. We'll talk soon.
I appreciate you, Nick. Shout out
Go
everybody in
subscribe,
the
ladies
chat.
and
Love you
gentlemen,
guys.
to the Dylan
Mhm.
Terraman football experience. How did you word it?
The Dylan Terraman Football Show. It's the flagship
Football
show.
show.
Jake
All right.
calls it the experience.
Yeah,
My
I'm hearing it.
credential says the Dylan Terraman Football Show. And it became a thing because here, I'll put it, yeah. It became a thing only because when I was applying for my credentials, it asked what my YouTube name was. And I'm like, well, I'm not just going to put my name again. So I'm like, now I really have to think of a show title. And it's the Dylan Terraman Football Show. We got Draft Talk with DT with DT. And we do Believe in Jets, BLEAV. That's the audio only version of the pod. 3 away from 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. So I know the shiners. I know there's some shiners out there that haven't subscribed yet. So I'd appreciate it if y'all could
Shame.
kindly do that.
Shame on the shiners that have not subscribed yet. Let's get him to 1,500 right now. He's at 14.9, so he's a few away. Let's see if we can get him to 1,500, ladies and gentlemen. I just dropped his link. Go over, subscribe, show him some love, and we will talk soon, my friend.
Love it, Nick. Appreciate you, man.
Be good, pal. Awesome. Pretty cool that they're down there and they get to do that. Pretty cool. Let's see if we can get him to 1,500. Go over, check that out if you haven't already. Take that away. Let's do this. All right. I got like 20 minutes before work. Jets fans, it's your time to shine. Pun intended. Link is pinned. You want to talk draft? You want to talk the coaching decisions? The coaching questions? What? I don't know. It's almost February and we don't have a coaching staff in place. This is really, really wild. So this is Adam Schefter with a tweet just now. Las Vegas head coach update. Raiders plan to interview Seattle offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak over the weekend and then make a decision on their head coach. As one candidate predicted, it's probably Kubiak's job to lose. So there's a little news there. Could affect us, right? With the draft, with what the Raiders do at 1. Yeah, the Darrell Jackson Jr. defensive tackle, or defensive lineman. The Draft Network just retweeted, what he's doing down there, and he's just powerful. Converts speed to power nicely. All right, stream right there. Yeah. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, Curly. I was like, breaking news: Aaron Glenn to be the first coach in the history of the NFL to call both offense and defensive plays. He's got no one who wants to work with him, for him. So it's the Aaron Glenn show, ladies and gentlemen. For everyone that wants to keep that ship steering, there we go. It's Aaron Glenn and nobody else. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say, ladies and gentlemen. But I do have a few minutes left. What are your thoughts on everything going on, sir?
I just barely got up right now.
All right. We'll come back to you when you're awake. Wake up, do a couple jumping jacks, some ab twists, rotate the shoulders, get yourself loose, man. Wake up. All right. Questions in the chat. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Jerome earlier said this comment. Just got home from my doctor about my diabetes, and my A1C is 5.8. Jerome, if you're still here, awesome. That's great news. Keep up the good work, man. Like, I've been on a very big health conscious kick for a little over a year now, and I've lost 80 pounds in a year. A little more, 14 months. November, I was 313, and I was like, I got to change this. And now I'm down to 234 today. So healthy. If you got unhealthy, getting healthy again is such a great gift, man. Everything feels so much better. So keep up the good work, Jerome. Get those numbers down. And proud of you. Chris, good luck, buddy. Good luck, man. Hope everything works out for you, bro. You're a good dude. You deserve it. All right. I saw you stretching. How do you feel now?
In the words of Mr. Jones from Friday, 5 pounds light. 5 pounds light.
How's you making money out there? You shoveling snow?
Nobody wants to work with Glenn. Well, for several reasons. He's ass backwards. He doesn't think too straight. He's, like the ball, like a baseball just went right over his head. He doesn't even know where it's at. That's where his brains are. He doesn't even know what part of this planet he's even on.
I like the baseball analogy for the football coach. Well done.
Hey, I played baseball for 10 years, so I've learned to play the game. So,
what levels?
Plenty. But you learn. You just go with it. Go with the flow. That's all. Go with the flow. It's like riding a train, And so you were 313?
That was November of 24. I was 382 at my heaviest.
Holy son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know.
Damn. Well, anything could happen. All you gotta do is believe in yourself.
234.2.
Do what you need to do.
I'm getting there. Even this is a 2X now. This is like,
don't worry.
On me. I'm trying, bud. We got to get you down, man. We got to get you trim and fit.
Well, time will tell when that time is right. It's
All
just
right.
got right now. We're in winter right now. This is
Well, the time
hibernating.
is right. Throw it to us right now. You know what time it is. Hit it.
You mean
Oh,
you mean you want to fly or do you want to
no.
glide?
Introduce us to what did we learn?
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, what did we learn today? Courtesy of the Nick Shine Show. Now back to Nick Shine.
Now let's go to what did we learn today? Courtesy of Nick Shine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what did we learn today? We had Dom C, we had Dylan, we had Jake make an appearance throwing donuts. What did you learn today while watching this program? And then we will do the honorary honors. We'll throw the honors up to Boomtown. We'll kick it up to Canada. Couple new emojis in the chat. For those of you that are members, we got the alternate jet logo. We got Armand Membu. Gonna look for a few more. We're gonna cycle some old ones out, in with the new ones for the new year. It's a T-ball for 10 years. Oh, that's good. Thank you, guys. You guys are great. No fighting in the chat. No fighting in the chat. J-Boy, I learned that Jets fans love Woody and want him to be the owner forever. Nicely done. Jets Johnny, I learned Beast doesn't have actually an exclusive Jake Asman. No, Beast has been coming on here for a few weeks now, Johnny. Welcome back to the program, sir. Glad to have you. Stack says, I learned we need a lot of help during the season. Yeah. We need it now. We need it in the end of the 25 season. We need it in the off season. We need it in season. We need a lot of help. We will not put barriers on when the help can happen, Stack. We need it at all times. Curly, oh, this will be a good one. I learned that we don't need a coaching staff. We have the football messiah, Aaron Glenn. Everyone thinks he's dead and buried, but he will rise and give us football salvation. Very well done. ISU, I learned DT is studying a bunch of dudes, A&L in Alabama. He better be careful. That's a Bible Belt. Well done. Very well done. Jets Johnny. Johnny boy, I learned that Carson Beck graduated 2 years ago. Yes. Yeah. Even Boomtown had to come in and say, well done, Curly. B, stop typing and stop arguing. Put your hands up. Put your hands up like Mikey Midnight. Both hands. All right. No more typing. No more fighting in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for watching. It's that time. Programming notes. Well, let's do this first.
Hey there, Shiners, you made it to the end. It's time to ask the question. Nick Shine would like to know. Canada's taking names. Boomtown always delivers. Let's find out now. What did we learn today?
Boomtown, my good sir, please inform everyone. What did you learn? And drop it like it's hot. Good job, everyone in the chat. Drop in the Boomtown emoji. Programming notes. Saturday night, 8 or 9 o'clock. Not sure what time, but we'll be on Saturday night. Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Shine time and prime time will be joined by Gunny. So, a couple programs for you this weekend. I'll see if there's some news that comes out. Maybe I'll go on again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah. My days are all thrown off with the snow days. Last week was the holiday on a Monday. This week we had the snow removal on Monday. So my days are all thrown off. Forgive me. So maybe we'll pop on tomorrow. Pre-work. And here we go. Boomtown learned we have new emojis. While having an unfortunate name, watch out for Malachi Fields. Did not expect to hear a player's description to include a beautiful flowing red mullet today. Nice. Shout out to the mullets. Bonus. Hope that you never see a face as disappointed as Nick's when he heard Nussmeier's hand size. Nick fell in love on Labor Day weekend. Mass kicks ass. Watch out for bomb cyclones. Double bonus. A&L list can be made for very different reasons. Beast played multiple levels of baseball. Well done. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the show. Every day, this channel is getting bigger. And I always credit you guys. You guys are awesome in the chat. People come here, hang out with you. I just facilitate it. Have a great day. Be good to one another. God bless. Go Jets. And one day we can do this. It might only be for one day, not an entire season. But damn it, we will do it to the best of our ability because we're maniacal, we're lunatics, we're Jets fans. Take care, folks.
It's got beef.
Gentry covered in football. Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show. Dim the lights, but it's still bright as Nick time. Day or night, this is his prime, it's Nick Shine. Proud fan, well defined to get in line. Toe to toe with any show, he only got 9. The best show on YouTube, bro, is easy. We talk Jets all day, please believe me. Subscribe, you just gotta click a family. We not a click in 3D. You can see a beautiful DP. We see through the fake teams and the tea leaves. So we pray for a coach and a QB and hope that we close to the top in the new league. A toast to the host with the most, Nicky. Who, me? Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show.
Fantastic.